Welcome back to CabSat TV for 2016, right down here in Hall 1, and very pleased to be joined now by Mustafa from Arab Radio and Television, the General Manager of Broadcast Operations. The head honcho, the man that says yes and no, is that right?
Sometimes, not always, not always.
It was a great, we just saw you in the Content Congress talking about how the market is adapting and changing, and some real alarming figures. In 2015, a 15% drop in advertising revenue, free-to-air channels moving to a pay TV model. Is this alarming for guys in your industry?
It is and it's not. It's actually a wake-up call that we really need to start, sit down and look as an industry, not as individual channels or individual networks. As an industry, we have to sit down together and decide what are the next steps to do to survive. I think the problem we faced in the Middle East from the beginning is competition, blind competition, without looking to market values. And we're going to get to the point where we're all going to lose if we don't sit down together and decide, listen, there's something wrong with our industry, we need to organize, we need to get our act together to survive. We have more than 1,400 channels out there in the MENA region, which is a ridiculous number. The money doesn't explain it, neither advertising or a subscription. It doesn't explain that amount of number of channels. I think most of them should actually, basically be consolidated into lesser and lesser channels, and then we have to organize. Because the industry is changing so fast, I can do a TV station out of my house. And I'll have probably more viewers than a lot of these satellite channels that are out there, because it's so cheap now to the industry to do it. I can do it with IP on IPTV, and a lot of people are doing it. That's why you have tens of thousands of channels on YouTube, as compared to lesser number of satellite channels or terrestrial channels. You have that people mindset is changing. The younger people are now getting away from the TV. They're going more into their iPad or their smartphone. Alarming figure I saw from the States, 25% less time they're spending on watching TV. The young people, for age group from 12 to 24, 25. That's alarming. BBC Three just closed down their operation as a TV station, and they went to the net because it's for young people, and they decide it's not worth it. Nobody's watching it on TV. They don't watch TV. They watch their own thing. iPad or smart pad or smartphone. So we have to adapt to that. If not, we're all going to lose.
And you talk about partnering for certain events and how the demographics are changing. It seems in this region that it's very, very quick to adopt new technology and really take that on board and run with it, not just walk with it, but run with it. But I know you have some concerns about the content that is then being provided by those systems.
Exactly. I think we are unfortunately more concerned about new toys, I would like to call them, in the industry, because it's still dominated by engineers, and the engineers are big kids at heart. They just want to play with these toys, so they keep getting us the latest, the best, and a lot of times we don't really need it. A lot of these channels that are out there, they really don't need the latest and the best. They just need to get on the air. Yet, they provide us with the Rolls Royce of equipment, and we don't need the Rolls Royce equipment. We definitely can't afford it. But again, because we're not working on a commercial level, we're working just for political level or for exposure. We don't care. A lot of these channels, they don't care about how much money they lose, which hurt us, the ones who actually care about it, which is a business for us, and that's a big problem. And also, the other problem is, this race to get the best and the latest is only one-sided. We're not actually doing the same thing with content. We have no local originated content as we should. We have some, but not as we should. All our formats exported from outside. Our drama is now dominated from outside. It's Turkish drama, it's Mexican drama, and ours are losing, retracting. Even our sports, most of our people. I did a survey once in Jordan, where people knew international players, but they didn't know even the local players. They did not know the local players. They may know one or two of their own team, but as a whole, they didn't know them, which is, it's a shame. So imagine that on the whole Arab-wide region. We don't have cultural heroes to put them on TV. We don't have the operas to put them on TV. We don't have culture events. So we spend all this money to buy the latest. We don't spend the same amount of money to create our own latest.
And it's not just legacy viewers, you know, people of my age and older, that are turning off and going to tablets and Slate and iPhones. The younger generation are not even starting off with a linear channel, are they?
True. I mean, they begin their life. My kids, they started with the iPad. The first thing they watched was watching on the iPad. The TV is actually, there's a certain time for the TV, where the iPad is 24/7. With the iPad, they can sneak out and do it any time, and we can't, you know, there's no way to control them. So they are the iPad generation, they are the smartphone generation, and we don't do anything to attract them to TV. We haven't done anything to really bring them to TV. So we're losing that in that age group.
So it's about attracting people in the future of the younger demographic, and obviously moving forward. Where do you see ART's foray into that in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, we're basically an entertainment package. We provide movies and drama series. I think we're starting now to do things that other channels don't do. We're starting to do a lot of alternative Arabic movies, which, you know, are not available everywhere. For example, we just showed Deep, the one that went to Oscar. We also sponsor, or we actually co-produce a lot of movies in that genre. And I think there's always a market for that. So we need to concentrate a little bit more on that, because yes, everybody else is showing everything else we have. But those alternative, on the fringe, on the edge, not a lot of people show that. We need to also start to address, find other ways than just the content, you know. I think OSN is doing a nice job with doing, you know, their platform, the OTT platform. They give away prizes. They have special packages. I think we should do the same thing, because it's a survival thing. We can't just say we have the best content. That doesn't matter anymore. You have to have the best content, and you have to have ways to address people to come to see the best content. What good the best content if nobody's watching it?
It does sound like the old adage that content is king is ringing true for the future.
Content is king, but now with a but. Because again, if you have the best content and nobody's watching, it's not king anymore.
Mustafa, thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure.